And hello there. Welcome to Worldwide Ramblings. As I do this live, it's a Thursday, October the 10th, 2024. We were on late this morning, East Coast time, about 11:35, and we were talking about the aftermath of Hurricane Milton. That's behind us now, but it's not for a lot of the people down there in Florida. Thank God it wasn't quite as bad as they thought it could be. But if you've lost your mobile home or the roof is off your regular house, so to speak, your business is flooded, et cetera, then it's horrific for you. Justin Bettinger is here. Hi, Justin. Cindy in South Louisiana rings a bell. Hello, Jack. Deborah Lake. Hopefully your living room will never become a lake, Deborah. Hello. Oh, another Deborah right behind you. Deborah Diggs. Hi, Jack. Hi, Deborah Diggs. Where are you from? I forget where Deborah Lake is from. It's just me. Justin, I'm not too sure either. You know, that short-term memory. If I had met you in 1968, I'd know for sure where you were if you hadn't moved. You know, if you've moved, I would know. Hello, Michael Wiggins. How are you? Hey, Mr. Jack. Good to see you, Ruthie. Hello, Karen Phillips. Hello, Jack. Grandma Becky. Deborah Diggs is in Missouri. Do you like it? Do you like living there? Do you get severe weather in Missouri? Do you get flooding or anything like that? Have you ever had a twister come through? Marty Greco right here on a Thursday night even. Hey, Jack and all. And that's right, just in Evansville, Indiana. You've told me that before. Mary Ann Rossi, not Donna Rossi from the great state of New Jersey. Just got to get rid of that governor. Deborah's in Topeka. Topeka or not Topeka. Will I be good or bad? Oh, that flesh. It rears its ugly head. Topeka, Kansas. Yeah. Yeah, you got bad weather too, huh? We had an earthquake here in New York. Was it this year or last year? I was sleeping at the time. I woke up and said, "Aren't those trees a blowing?" and went back to sleep. Later, Karen told me about it. Faith Lloyd is either saying good night or making the point that it is night. Well, yes, it is. And if I've said anything to the contrary, I ask you to forgive me. Judy Wright, not Betty Wright, the cleanup woman. Hey, Jack. Victoria Matthews. Hi, Jack and everybody. I always enjoy your show. Thank you very much. We've got a loyal following here, and I appreciate that. Yes, we do have bad weather, says Deborah Diggs, and live right on the New Madrid fault line. Huh. I know nothing about the New Madrid fault line, so please share. Oh, Miles Wright, son of Judy Wright. Miles, that kind of sounds like you are a jazz musician, you know? I guess I'm thinking of Miles Davis, aren't I? Hi, Miles Davis. I remember you. I mean, Miles Wright. I'm a little tired. Linda Justice as well joining us as we pop up to 29 that I know of. And 9 likes already. Yes, hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed yet, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. That would be swell. So we'll know, you'll know. I think I'll know. So far, I still know when I'm coming on live. If I don't know that I'm live, I probably can't even handle the equipment anymore. It'll be like that. I'll just be in the corner somewhere. Alarmed to a chair, tied and alarmed to a chair. He knows his I don't always get the exercise, but sometimes my nose runs for me, which I think is very nice of it. Good evening, sir. Howdy from Scottsdale, Arizona. Rick K. That's the only Scottsdale I know. So if you're in Scottsdale, North Dakota, I don't know of it. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Forget where Miles Wright is from. Sorry to ask the question over and over, but we're going to go to content pretty soon, pretty much right away. And when I do content, I can't see the current stream. So if you have something to say to me, wait till that content's over because I won't see it. I try to scroll back, but sometimes I miss it, you know. Test J, hey Jack and everyone, welcome. Correct, Arizona. Yeah, that's a battleground state that I think the Orange Man is doing pretty good in right now. It goes back and forth right now. It goes back and forth. Don't trust polls. I'm just worried that the polls are all going to be open, that the polling centers are going to all be open. You know, there's just so many things. But you just, you know, what will be, will be. I will put it in the hands of a higher power than I. Either we're going to have a country in 2025 or we're going to be going towards not having a country. That's how I view it. That's how I view it. Ah, Orange Man, good, true, and more mature than he was in 2015. You know, I don't know. They try to pin things on him, and you know, Biden's so good at that. You know, when he's the worst offender of all. But don't get me started. Don't get me started. They will pick anything from any website and try to make it out like Trump said that. They will put a spin on it that's false. I mean, Trump could be a lot harder on him when you think about it. He could put another label on him. You know, I mean, look at what Comer and um, the other wonderful congressman Jim Jordan uncovered. You know, what's the word for behavior like that? Victoria Winters. Victoria Winters is also Vicky Matthews. Oh, where is Victoria Winters? I have her here somewhere. Oh, yes. My 1966 print book. Big Dark Shadows fan. Hard to get this one, but I got it on Etsy by Marilyn Ross. It's not a script from Dark Shadows. They didn't do this particular story, but, you know, they realized pretty quick that Dark Shadows merchandise was going to be very good seller, especially when Barnabas came along in 1967. Jonathan Frid is the vampire. But there is an audio version of this book that's easier to get, and it's read by the character of Maggie Evans, Jusette Dupre, Lady Hampshire, Rachel Drummond from Dark Shadows, Catherine Lee Scott, who's in Dublin right now, or she was. I don't know if she still is. She was in London, and now she's been touring with her man there, who's a writer. He writes about espionage, sometimes intertwining love. So everybody's here, and Deborah Diggs loves Dark Shadows. We are going Saturday afternoon, Deborah Diggs, to the Tarrytown Music Hall for a Dark Shadows remembrance. Karen was a fan really when she was a kid. I wasn't. It wasn't to the pandemic when we seemed to have more time on our hands. Of course, not all that much at first because I worked till 2022 full time, and then I retired in 2022. But they're going to have a remembrance, and who will be there? 3 original cast members. See, they had the big version on the West Coast, but we just couldn't get the funds for it. I wasn't going to run out my credit cards. You know, I wanted to be there. Roger Davis was there. He's 80 something. David Selby was there. He's 80 something. Nancy Barrett was supposed to be. She wasn't. Catherine Lee Scott was there. And James Storm. James Storm was there. He was in the very later episodes of Dark Shadows. We're watching for the third time now, all the way through, and we're in the later episodes and seeing James Storm do a wonderful job. Dark Shadows was my after school treat growing up. Love Quentin. Well, I suggest you revisit the whole thing because I don't know if Deborah's done this test, Jay, but you get it on Tubi. If you're watching for the first time, especially, I suggest you start with episode 210, not the beginning episodes. They're in separate categories on Tubi and Prime Video too. And start with 210 and go all the way through to the end, episode 1145, I guess, and then watch the first 209, and you'll appreciate them more. So Saturday in Tarrytown, Sharon Smith Lenz will be there. She was little Sarah in the early part of Dark Shadows. Much younger sister of Barnabas Collins, Sharon, will be there. And also a woman who played three roles on Dark Shadows. Now, come on, I know her name. Marie Wallace, yes. She began playing Eve, the woman who was brought back to life to be a mate for, you guessed it, Adam. And then she played Crazy Jenny. That was my favorite, when she played Crazy Jenny with the wild wig. She had babies, but they were really dolls. She didn't know that, though. And then she played Megan Todd, in the Leviathan storyline. Not my favorite storyline, but there was some great moments during it. So she will be there. And Donna Wandry, it's three women who played Roxanne on Dark Shadows, again in the later episodes. They're all now in their 70s or 80s. Maria's in her 80s. And so we're looking forward to that. There'll be a video from David Selby reading some letters from Jonathan Frid, and there'll be memorabilia and stuff. And it was very, economical to get there, and not that far of a drive for us, right over the Mario Cuomo Bridge. And you're just about there. And then we'll shoot up to the Catskills to see Jimmy Sturr, 18-time Grammy winner, the polka king himself, at the resort's casino. And it's not really Monticello, it's in the town of Thompson as you go up into the Catskills. So that's the plan for Saturday. Hi, Heidi Marley. Any relation to Bob Marley? I probably say that every time, right? Sorry, I'm late. Hope I didn't miss anything. Not really. We're going to go to content right now. Hi, Susan Ashok. He's buried in Newport, Rhode Island, where I'm from. Who's buried in Newport, Rhode Island? Are you talking about Jonathan? I know that Jonathan was from Canada. He was a Canadian. He moved to Canada when he retired. Newport, Rhode Island. Yeah. Karen and I were there in 2023. We went in September because the rates go way down in September in this one cheap place outside of town, cheap motel. That's how we have to do it, And we enjoyed. We, of course, went to where the Collingwood was, only for exterior shots, the Collingwood Mansion. What's the real name of it? I'm drawing a blank at the moment. But we got to peer through the fence, and we could have walked on the property, but we didn't do that, and they don't want you doing that. But we got our pictures and video of Collingwood, and found Newport to be a delightful place. First time we had ever been there. Chi-Chi is here. Good afternoon. 2:13 in the afternoon in Australia. Heidi, where are you from? Maybe related. You think so? Marley is my mom's maiden name. I got you. So, yeah. Welcome, 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 everybody. Pierogi Josie joins us. Good evening, Jack. Hi, Pierogi. Welcome. And Heidi's from Marion, Indiana. Yeah, we get a number of people from Indiana. We do. So I'm going to go to content. I won't be able to see your comments for a little bit, but the name of this one is Elvis's granddaughter, in her own words. Isn't that what I wrote? This is too recent to remember, but I think that was it. And so it's just audio, but we're going to just listen to a little bit of Riley Keough with Hoda and Jenna Bush on the, third or fourth hour of today? Fourth hour? I think Hoda is packing it in, but she's still there. She's still there. And but before we hear from Riley Keough, granddaughter of Elvis Presley, we hear an excerpt from the book, the audio book, and it is read by the Notting Hill actress herself, Miss Julia Roberts. Now, they could throw a commercial in here. I never know for sure. It could happen at any time. But we'll just hear a little bit of this, an excerpt, and enjoy.
There were the times I would be in school in LA and I would see a black car pull up. Then someone would come to the classroom to get me, and it was to go see him. They'd put me on a plane and fly to wherever he was. It was usually on a whim. He would tell someone, "Go get her." And then I would get brought to wherever he was. I waited for that car to show up. It was always a black one, usually a Mercedes or a limousine. I felt like my life was the best life ever whenever that car came around.
Wow. First of all, Riley, we're so happy you're here. Julia, thank you. Julia Roberts' voice is something, but the content of what your mother was feeling and thinking, and you were aware of all these parts of her, weren't you? Tell me about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's been an emotional journey, I actually just listened to the audiobook for the first time yesterday. So that was amazing. And what was amazing about it was that I was actually able to sort of listen to it as a story and take a step back, because Julia's just she's talking. So I could listen as a listener, and it wasn't as personal, because I've been listening to my mom's tapes now to make this book for the last year or so. So yeah, it's been extremely emotional, but also very gratifying, and just very grateful to have it and to be able to publish, your family's history.
Grief is not linear. It is really hard. Public grieving is even harder, because you knew your mom as mom, a relationship that we don't know her like that, and I wonder if having these tapes, having this connection to her via this book has been like this kind of grace.
Definitely. I feel very grateful for that. There's a lot of things, like, I think that public grieving is, it can be uncomfortable, but also there's something about it that's where you're more connected, because you're kind of walking around and everyone knows, which can be uncomfortable in moments, but also there's a shared grief as well. So it's not as lonely. I think you're not walking around in this with this.
Grief does come in waves. If anyone who's lost someone is also listening, they know the feeling. Like, one day you feel like you can't breathe, and then all of a sudden you feel like your old self again, and then it comes again. How do you manage kind of the rhythm of that in your life?
I think I just let it do whatever it does.
That's the best advice.
Yeah. If I'm at work or busy and I feel grief, I'll just take a minute and allow it to be there. I don't try and shove it down or or get rid of it. So I try and kind of like just experience it as it comes, because it's it's always changing, and it shows up in different ways, and sometimes it's like very sweet and funny and sentimental. Sometimes it's heartbreaking. So I just kind of let it be what it is.
What's amazing about this book as a project, as a book, is that your mom had actually asked for your help before she passed. This was something y'all were going to do together. So you didn't really learn much about her because you knew her so well, but what do you hope we learn about her?
I hope that just that she feels human. and that people connect to her on a human level. I think that a lot of the things that she goes through in the book are very, normal issues. And I think that the circumstance is extraordinary and that she's Elvis's daughter and our family is what it is and whatever, but it's addiction and it's mother and daughter relationships and it's falling in love and getting married and having kids and grief. So the themes are very human. So I think just like human connection is what she wanted. She wanted to share her story and kind of with the hopes that people would connect and not feel as alone. I think
That's Riley KEOUGH, name of the video here on YouTube. It's from the Today Show with Hoda and Jenna. Riley KEOUGH opens up on late mom Lisa Marie Presley's memoir, which she wrote along with her mom. You hear both of their perspectives, and Riley, who hasn't aged a day since the girlfriend experience, not that I ever saw that, does a very good job. So you can get that on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, etc., etc. We're back and saying good evening to Mike Fortner. Hello. Hello, Mike Fortner. How are you? I'm glad you're here. Susan Carter, Miss Carter. Hey, can't believe that Riley gave initial at Graceland with Oprah, an interview. I'm so over Oprah, I'm so over Oprah. The phenomenon, she's a multi-billionaire now, is she? Taylor Swift is a billionaire. Whatever, but I don't value Oprah's perspective. I respect her as an interviewer back in the day, but spiritually she was always all messed up. I mean, she'd have Eastern theme religion people on Tuesday and then have BB and CC Winans on Wednesday, and it was all Jesus and gospel, so you can't mix the two. You can't mix spaghetti sauce with hot fudge. You just can't do it. So somebody say something, because this stream is not moving and I get nervous. It just stops at Mike Fortner. Yeah, we are live if you happen to be watching at 11:23. Thank you, Cindy. Don't get me nervous. About 11:23 on a Thursday evening, October 10th. And Cindy is still here. That's good. Nice to know where Marley's are from. Yeah. Chi-Chi, my 98-year-old Nan, don't like her. My name, she's evil. I don't know what that means. Tess J, I'm opening up Tubi. Well, let me tell you, Tess J, once you see, I'm having you tune away. I don't want that. You got me on your desktop, and I'll tell you, we watch usually a few episodes every night. Not tonight. I'll tell you why. We did watch Jesse Waters' Primetime, as we often do. Johnny was out there interviewing in Brooklyn. He was in a section with all black people coming to the microphone, and everyone said they were for Trump, Trump, Trump. And they had some choice words for Kamala Harris, some that had to be bleeped out. I would like to say I'm extremely proud of Riley for doing this on her mom's behalf. Yeah. And she runs Graceland now. She even thought up of some new concepts, like you can be Presley for a day. It'll cost you some shekels, but you can be Presley for a day. Groups of 4 twice a day, almost every day, and everything from a high-end dinner to a tour, go and visit the horses, etc., on that tour. You can go to the Graceland website and find out more about that. I think it's still going on. Oh, okay, Tess, queuing it up for later. Yeah. Oh, there's so many that we have so many favorite episodes, we have so many favorite episodes. I have a Dark Shadows wall back there in this land of 1,000 Google photos. I just keep ordering them too. I'm out of space, Faith Lloyd. I'm out of space. So now I have to say, which ones don't I really want up anymore, because I got to put ones that are more important to me. Got many of Karen up, of course, and Jimmy Sturr and my radio career, which started in 1977, and women that I've loved before, if you can believe that. My beautiful daughter, Kaylee, and Marianne Rossi, you still here? Because I was going to read your letter next. Marianne Rossi, not Donna Rossi. A lot of people, we did that video, asking the question. Well, we made the statement that new book says Lisa Marie was abused and tormented. And so watch that video, please, if you haven't. I need it to get a lot of views. It's well over 1,000 now. The actual count sometimes here is much shorter than the actual count is when I do the analytics. So I wish they would catch up. Yeah, Marianne Rossi's here. So, I said at the end of the video that was just put up this morning after I did the live thing talking about the storm, about Lisa Marie being abused and tormented. We said a lot of things. We had top 7 things that we mentioned from the book. But one of them, of course, was that Lisa Marie was allegedly sexually abused by Priscilla's boyfriend, Michael Edwards, who is now like 80 years old. He's a very good looking man. He was an actor. He was Mommy Dearest. He was Joan Crawford's lover in that movie. Everybody see Mommy Dearest? No wire coat hangers. No wire coat hangers. So, I said towards the end of the video, I said, it's really, I have to be honest, it's really hard to believe that Elvis is still alive, because that guy wouldn't be around anymore, basically, if that were true. Lisa Marie would have told her father, and that guy would have been toast. Not at Elvis's hand, but somebody else. Yeah. I think he might have forgotten about one of the commandments for a little while, So Donna Rossi said what a number of you people said, but she said it in more detail. Did I say Donna Rossi? Marianne Rossi. The reason I say she's not Donna Rossi is Karen and I, my partner, went to school with Donna Rossi. So let's go to the email and see what Marianne wrote. And some of you have echoed this, I just watched your video about Lisa Marie's book, and I agree with what you say. How did I agree with you. You said about Elvis, if he was alive, how would he let that happen to her with the abuse? Well, I'm a believer, and I still believe that Bob Joyce is Elvis, but I always wondered and had discussions with people that Lisa Marie probably didn't know her dad was alive until she was a little older. And also another thing regarding Priscilla, first of all, she knew about Elvis, which I fully believe she knew from day one that he was alive. But if he knew about what was going on, that would have ruined everything. It would have put the family in a lot of danger. All of them, because like you, I know he would have done something about it right away. And maybe Priscilla made him apologize, and he made it look like it wasn't as bad as it was. So in other words, talking about Michael Edwards now. So in other words, what I'm trying to say is that if this happens when Lisa Marie was 10 years old until maybe 11 or 12, it says 10 to 13 in the book. I think she didn't even know her dad was alive at that age. I don't think it was smart to have told her, it would have been smart to have told her the truth. She was too young to keep that secret. That does make a lot of sense to me. But that's my opinion. Yes, I truly believe Bob Joyce is Elvis. So a number of you seem to share that view because I said, I understand um, that we have dozens and dozens of so-called coincidences. That's an inadequate word for this story. That's an inadequate word. Um, and people will say, look at the scars, look at the veins, the broken pinkies, et cetera, et cetera. And then there's just too many coincidences, too many items that border on factual or are factual sightings of places the pastor was where he shouldn't be and what have you. But having said all that, I still speak of possibilities and we could be wrong. I have said that it could be the son of Elvis Presley, the love child's son. And of course, everyone is going to say, well, no, he's got the same scars and veins and et cetera, So what do you think about all this, Heidi? I watched a video about his birthday and it was very interesting. Neo joins us. Factual healing. Yeah, not sexual healing, but factual healing. It is on YouTube, says Heidi. Downtown William Brown joins us. Hi, William Brown. Nice to see you. Well, I'm not really seeing you, am I? I think so, Jack. Bob Joyce is Elvis. According to Nan, well, if Nan says it, she's wise. The years have brought her wisdom. Priscilla slipped on Oprah. Yeah, that's one of the things when she starts saying that she spoke to Elvis just the other day and catches herself. Lisa Marie doesn't seem to want to talk about it at all during that interview, There were times when she would say, a few things to kind of go along with the stated reality that Elvis Presley passed away, and there are times when she seemed reluctant to do that. Just said, I don't want to talk about my father. I think she said that to Larry King, but another time she did. The voice is what convinces me, says Tess J. The nuance of Bob Joyce's voice is too precise not to be Elvis. William Brown is about 85% sure he's Elvis. Not 86 or 84, but 85. Okay. Lisa Marie, something about the industry. Something about the industry. So we talk about the seven biggest things that we have seen so far based on book reviews and excerpts, and certainly the abuse of Lisa Marie by Michael Edwards, that's alleged, was right up there. We talk about MJ, we talk about her music career, and we talk about her addiction to painkillers, which Elvis had as well, only his were injectable. I think this was all pills, and then diet pills too. I think I said the Grammy Awards in that video. It was the Golden Globes, right? It was the Golden Globes. I'll sit in my living room and watch it on the TV, and Karen will say, Grammys? It wasn't the Grammys. Austin Butler didn't win a Grammy. Oh, dear. No one ever said I was perfect. Even the people at the church say he is. Some of them do. I've heard that, yes. And they'll even say, you'll hear clues. You'll hear clues. You can't stop people from being human, and they're going to be interested in this. I think you can be have a life that is serious about following Christ, but you're still going to have those human qualities. You're still gonna wonder, you know. Susan Carter says, I agree that Lisa was not told about her father until she was old enough to understand and keep the secret. So there you go. That seems to be the consensus that everybody has. Yeah, as a little girl, she'd have a hard time. So that means, you know, let me stop blocking Elvis here. I got a sweatshirt on. It's probably one of my oldest sweatshirts. You can't see it all, but there's some bottles of beer, I guess. Whatever. I just got it to keep warm, not to wear out too much, but to wear in this drafty duplex that I find myself in. It was just something I hadn't really thought of that much, but you know, when Elvis signed up for what he signed up for, um, the idea that he wouldn't be able to see his daughter for years, I don't know, would he sign up for something like that? It's clear that he had to go away into a some kind of a healing rehab type place and kick the prescription drug medication and lose the weight. And he had that bowel disease thing, that bowel problem. And all this had to be corrected. So he was gone for months. But when he got back, you know, the idea that he would go years without seeing Lisa Marie, that would be really tough. That would be really tough. It would be like, you know, he might wear a disguise and be fairly close to where she is or something like that so he could get a glimpse of her or even be, you know, close enough to in disguise in the same room or something. I don't know. I'm just letting my mind go wild now, but the idea of not seeing your daughter, I mean, this is something that I'm experiencing right now. You know, I don't see my daughter. I'm just a phone call away, but this has happened. This is happening to the comedian Rob Schneider. His daughter doesn't want anything to do with him. And he used the Tucker microphone to say, I'm right here when you need me. And I'm sorry I wasn't the kind of father that you needed, but I'm here now. I'm here now. And so it's a terrible feeling. I mean, if I got a call from my daughter tonight and she said she needed me, I'd be on the way. I'd be on the way. That's just what you do when you're a father. And we had those kind of times, you know. I talked earlier about the time she was in a car accident. She wasn't driving, and that we rushed down to the state of Florida because that's where she was living at the time. We rushed down, my ex-wife and my son, we rushed down. That was years ago, and she was okay. She was okay. So that's, you know, that's what I live with. And Elvis must have been, if we are right in our assumptions, Elvis must have been really struggling with that. And then what will be her reaction when she finds out daddy is really alive? You know, he must have been thinking about that a lot as well, if we're correct. So in terms of would put people in danger, it depends if we're right about whether he actually testified against someone that was a member of the mafia and went into the witness protection program as John Burroughs. According to the Phil Aitchison report, I think the Gail Brewer Giorgio book as well, he became John Burroughs in 77, and a green helicopter picked him up after the funeral, and took him to a private jet at the airport, not the Lisa Marie, but a private jet at the airport, and took him away to someplace like Argentina, where he was for months getting well. But that would have meant his whole family was at risk if he had testified. So I never got verification. I've never seen it on paper that he actually did testify. But you know, if it would be, well, if we can't get Elvis, we'll get somebody from his family, So there would have had to been incredible security to make sure that didn't happen, to try to do everything to make sure that didn't happen. And so I'm not sure he needed to go into the witness protection program because he was somewhat of a federal agent. Nixon gave him the badge in the Oval Office, So the actual details of 1977, 1978, and beyond, I haven't seen hardcore documentation like on so many things, People occasionally make statements, and I say, well, you got to give me some backup for that, because it's easy to say, but I heard is not documentation. I heard, you got to do more than I heard, because sometimes I heard just is like, something, a falsehood being passed down to the next person. It's tell a florist or tell grandma. She'll tell everyone. Pierogi Josie. Bob Joyce said he gave up everything in one of his sermons. I know, one of those hints. Family, money, cars, animals. I didn't hear that part of it. See, it's getting a little longer here. Cars and animals, I certainly didn't hear. So, did Richard Nixon give him the badge? Yeah, he sure did. He had a special agent badge, and I don't know, he must have had it around for such an occasion, because Elvis just showed up at the White House security gate with his entourage, carrying a gun. Not a loaded gun, but the bodyguards might have had something, I don't know how that worked. They would have had to leave that right there at the gatehouse. But Elvis gave Nixon a antique, beautiful gun. The bullets were not in it. The bullets were part of the package, but they were not in it. Was Nixon much for shooting guns? I never fancied him that way. He was a pianist, like Elvis. He was a pianist. Did you ever stop and think that maybe Lisa Marie was 16 when she found out, and also that made her very bitter with her parents, both of them? Yeah, that can all factor in, obviously. And of course, the loss of her son. And, we talk about that in the new video, Lisa Marie, Abused and Tormented. So watch that if you haven't already. Video, Lisa Marie, Abused and Tormented. So watch that if you haven't already. And don't forget to like it and share it if you can. Please share it on your Facebook page or wherever you can share it. Because I'm not on other platforms, When I share something on my Facebook page, I don't have the audience for it. I only have 60 friends because I don't really spend much time on there. I don't seek a lot of friends. The people that are there, most of them I know pretty well. And I do like some of their stuff and what have you. But I don't spend a lot of time on Facebook, Susan says she tries to see any new info on Pastor Bob Joyce, as long as you keep it in perspective. Yeah, you saw the picture, William Brown, of him handing the badge. Some say that Elvis looked kind of high in that photo, prescription drugs. If you look at his eyes, that was the comment made by Albert Goldman, who wrote his book on Elvis, a very thick book on Elvis. He wasn't a fan. It doesn't mean he wasn't a gifted writer. I think he's passed away. Wasn't a gifted writer, but when someone isn't a fan, they're going to likely bring a bias in there. But they're also going to tell the truth, and there are those that don't want to hear some things about Elvis, like he was a man of flesh and blood. Bob Joyce said he gave up everything. Yeah, okay, I read that one. I watched the movie of Elvis meeting Nixon. It was good. There is also an interview on YouTube of some of Elvis's guys, the Memphis Mafia guys, telling the story of when he met Nixon. Very interesting. Yeah, there's a lot out there. There's a lot out there. Jack, I have seen the video on YouTube by someone who does Elvis stuff like you on YouTube that says Elvis was still alive and that Elvis went back in the service. Elvis went back in the service from 77 to 91. That's nonsense. That's absolute nonsense. There's a lot of new voices out there right now. Some of the I don't want to say pre-recorded, but it almost sounds like AI. This guy who's on so many different videos, his voice, they're usually like a minute or 2 minutes long. And some of the things they say there are just not factually correct. Someday I'll go over that, but we already did a video that there's a lot of wild statements out there right now, so you have to be careful. There's a lot of wild statements, and yes, the competition is stiff right now. So appreciate you guys. We've been doing this for 6.5 years, and I try hard to be factual, and I don't. I use excerpts of people's work. I don't take the whole video and put it up with my name on it. That eventually will get you into trouble, I think. But some people just like the promotion, and it brings hits. So there you go. Maybe I'm the dope, right? So what else? So remember, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And we got 34 likes. Please hit the like button, the notification bell. The thanks button, if you can hit that for any amount, if it's in your budget, whether it be $1, $2, $5, $10. Sometimes in the replay, the thanks button doesn't appear right away. But if you give it some time, it will, or you can go to another recent video, check it by the date, and you'll find the thanks button there. And that helps me so much as we work on the few days before Thanksgiving right now. A few days before Thanksgiving. I'm not one of the big guys, but we have a pretty loyal following, and so I appreciate that. I especially appreciate when it's new people, whether it be a small amount or a large amount. It really helps me out. Oh, Heidi Marley, is Graceland still going to open so you can ride the horses? You only get to ride the horses if you have a lot of money. See, it's Elvis Presley. No, it's Presley for a day. It's Presley for a day. And they only have 8 people that get to do this, 2 groups of 4 per day. And you get a grand tour. I'm not necessarily saying they go upstairs of Graceland, but you see many different buildings. Yes, you see the horses. It'll be getting cold in Tennessee in a few months, though, so I'd go now. And you can even ride the horse with them kind of right next to you. They don't want you falling off a horse, Yeah, there's a golf cart tour, and then there's like a nice meal. There's a nice meal in one of the buildings there. That's what you get for being Presley for a day, and it's going to be expensive, of course. It's it's a special thing, Wonder if Priscilla's boyfriend, Michael Edwards, was in the Church of Scientology. I haven't looked into that. I don't think he's in the country anymore, but I do believe he's still alive and about 80 or so now, 80. So that's going to make more people hate Priscilla, right? I mean, I don't have those feelings towards her. I don't have really feelings one way or the other. I could be sympathetic in some areas, I suppose. But this is not going to help. This is not going to help. And when I did do previous videos on Priscilla, I was surprised at the negativity. When we get into this kind of a topic, it does bring in new people that may on a replay make very inappropriate comments, calling Bob Joyce a liar or calling Elvis and his family liars is a step too far. Just like if you say Lisa faked her death, we don't do that here. But I don't try to censor you, just be responsible. And, in terms of other people fake their death, I'm usually cool with that as long as it's not, somebody that just feels so wrong, like Lady Diana, Princess Diana, or Lisa Marie, for example. So this looks like a good book. I'm going to be getting it. And, I'm not going to do any content except if you say things, I'll respond to it. But I'm not going to do heavy content on the book this weekend. As it looks now, I won't do a Saturday night midnight ramblings because I got those back-to-back things. Did I say midnight ramblings? We do that sometimes for the late night crowd. But worldwide ramblings, perhaps Sunday at 8:30. Sunday at 8:30 as Karen is watching 90 Day Fiasco. I hate that show. She puts her earphones in for that. I'm usually watching Mark Levin, I'm usually watching Mark Levin. So, but he plays over at 11 o'clock and hopefully he'll be okay. I've been a little concerned about his health. He did take a fall and had to have surgery on his leg, right leg, I think. And, but he's also seemed a little out of breath sometimes. And, I don't know, just a little worried about him. So anybody from Florida watching right now? Anybody from the state of Florida? We won't be on long tonight because guess what I got to do? My time to get up is around 10:30 in the morning because I'm up so late. I'm up so late. Well, the Haitian woman that lives next door has to go to have her second eye surgery tomorrow. The laser surgery. She had one eye done, and now she's going to have the other eye done. And her husband usually comes with us. I took him one time to have his eye surgery. I hope he's had both eyes by now. I don't know. But first, it was wonderful. It was going to be, the appointment was 11:30 in the morning, and this has been going on for weeks. The doctor's not available, changing it and what have you. And, stuff like that. And so then, as I'm pulling into the driveway with Karen this afternoon, after we got back from Mr. Washy Washy Laundry, he came right out, and I knew he was going to tell me now because he told me, tell me Thursday what time the appointment would be because they said it's not going to be 11:30. And I told him right then, it's going to be 8 o'clock. It's going to be 8 o'clock, which means you got to leave here at about 7:15. It's up in Cornwall, New York. And sure enough, when he came out today, I thought he was going to tell me it was canceled, and I would breathe a sigh of relief. And he told me it's 8 o'clock, which means leaving at 7:10, which means getting up at about 6:30 in the morning. I know 6:30 p.m., but I don't know 6:30 a.m. Well, look at this. My goodness. Todd Bradshaw. I love it when new people hit the thanks button. It's such a blessing. I don't want the same people to feel that they're obligated to do that. Todd Bradshaw. Yeah, we have talked to you before. I believe you're the Bradshaw because we talked about the other Bradshaws. What's his name again? He wasn't doing that well last I heard, but Todd Bradshaw hits the thanks button for $20. Jack, thanks for the Dark Shadows recommendations you gave me. Yes, start with episode 210 on Tubi or Prime Video, or I guess even Pluto, and then go all the way through. There's just some wonderful stuff there. You got the Dark Shadows beauties, Alexandra Mocha. That's how she says it. She's still alive. She's in her late 70s, and I think she's still involved with a museum in New York City or she's, manager or something like that. She just loves that kind of stuff. She's produced documentaries, and but never acted again after Dark Shadows. Left in December of '68. She was pregnant and was starting to have some problems with the pregnancy, so off she went, and she did not return. She did not do the Dark Shadows convention, so she's, I guess I would say she's the number one Dark Shadows beauty. If I was going to say, who do I love the most from Dark Shadows, then would come Catherine Lee Scott, who we have seen a number of times at Lyndhurst Mansion in Tarrytown. She's not doing that event this year because she was out for the other Dark Shadows convention in Burbank, California. We would have loved to have gone to that, just too expensive. We added up everything. I haven't been to Burbank in many, many moons, like 1998 maybe. And so thank you so much, Todd. It really helps me. It helps my total. As I say, competition is increased and it's fierce right now. And fortunately, I think my 50 years experience as a radio DJ comes into play for lives. I think I do a better live. But tech skills, I have to call Andy when we're going to do something, when we're going to roll in something or what have you. I need a virtual tech crew and really can't afford to do that. So thank you, Todd. Thank you for doing that. Marty Greco, lying about what he has never said. Lying about what? He has never said he is not Elvis. Oh, you're talking to somebody else. Yeah, let's see here. Was this you, Todd? It's starting to point to Todd himself. Well, at least he likes Dark Shadows. See, I have to go and try to find this. Love your energy. Well, that's a new age word, but I can't claim to have the anointing like Pastor Bob. I can't claim Jay Pagria. How are you? Thank you. Yeah, well, you learn a few things in radio. You gotta have a warmth on the microphone, and you've got to. I learned back in broadcasting school, and then I learned from the radio DJs right up the road at the time that were like my idols back then. Radio is a one-on-one conversation. It's a one-on-one conversation, and in this case, you have to remember to look into why should I give tips? Why am I giving tips? Forget the whole thing. Just keep doing it the way you're doing it. I should say that, right? But yeah. The denial that Pastor Bob made from the strip mall church was very veiled, and he never mentioned the word Elvis at that time. He has mentioned him since, but it's to say something like, you don't need Paul the Apostle, you don't need Peter, you don't need Cephas, how do you pronounce that? You don't need Bob Joyce, and you don't need Elvis. Stop looking to man. I said, stop looking to man. And this was at the Horner Hall Theater, the George Magazine live event. Pastor Bob brought the Household of Faith service that Sunday to Horner Hall Theater and just about filled it. There were many seats and a powerful message, powerful praise and worship time. And so, yeah, it was. But thank you, Todd. Thank you. And then Chi-Chi joins in with $10. My goodness, Chi-Chi. Echgoyan. See, I told you I'd mispronounce it. Echgoyan. Something like that. Semi. Okay, I like it, Sam. Sam Sammy has donated many times, and this time it looks like 99 cents, and that helps too. It all goes into the pot, makes me stir the pot. So thank you, Sam Sammy, Chi Chi, and Todd Bradshaw. Terry Bradshaw, of course, the best Steeler of all time. Now, is he not doing Monday Night Football this year? He's not, right? Or he was on Fox. He was on Fox. He was on Monday Night Football in the past. Right? See, I know nothing about football. Never seen a game all the way through. But my Yankees, huh? We'll see what happens. What did the Mets do? I didn't get the score. I don't know how they did. See, ever since my son is in Texas, I don't have the same love that I used to have. And of course, it's been 2009 since the Yankees won a World Series. And they keep bringing back Boone. If they don't win this time, maybe they'll finally say, enough, Boone. Let's try somebody else. Because if Steinbrenner's father was in there, by now he would have switched managers 4 or 5 times. And out of those, say, 5 times, at least 2 of them would have been manager before, and he just brought them back. He'd like to do that. Thank you, Chi-Chi. Thank you, Terry. And thank you, Sam Semi. Appreciate it so much. I really, really do. And then Sam Semi comes back with 279. Hello! Thank you, Sam Semi. Here's somebody new, Bernice Gordon. Bernice Gordon. Where are you from, Bernice Gordon? That's a nice name. Nice to have you aboard Worldwide Ramblings. We're not here every Thursday night, but we are this time. Doing great. We've heard that one a lot. Wouldn't DNA or fingerprints say it all? Yes, but Bob Joyce doesn't want that. You're not going to get the DNA from Riley, for example, to match it. It's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I believe Pastor Bob wants to die preaching the word of God, and the Holy Spirit seems to have this in check wonderfully. And that's the way it's going to be. So, I'm not on a mission to be the guy. I don't want to be the guy, and I don't expect that I'll email him and he'll answer me. I did make the offer to camera way back in 2018 and on many videos after that, saying that if the pastor was not happy with what I did, all I needed was a video call on Facebook Messenger, so I knew it was him that I was talking to and not maybe somebody in the band. It would be yes, sir. It would be yes, sir. But that call never came. He's not interested. He's made it clear that he's not interested in helping you out in your investigation. He doesn't want to talk about that at all. So, that's how it is. That's how it is. I don't expect it to be any different. The church is pretty clear. If you read that, you get the tone if you really look at it, So thank you, Sammy times 2, Chi, thank you so much. And Mr. Bradshaw as well. I don't know. Do we ask where you were from, Todd? I don't remember. He is a very good pastor. I love hearing him preach the gospel. Yes, yes, yes. I do too. And, they've got this 9 acres of land to develop. I wonder how that's going. I wonder if we have a new projection date for when that horse barn out there, beautiful horse barn, I think race horses must have been in this one, on this 9 acres of land about a few miles from the where Household of Faith is now, 9 acres of land. The horse barn, they think they can make it like, I don't know, hundreds of seats. It'll be tight. I don't know. They'd have to have some kind of a portable fellowship hall, I guess. Because if you put the fellowship hall in there, it's going to limit how many seats you can get for sure. Or you can try to make it all the same thing. My phone's going off back there. Let me check just in case someone hit the Cash App. Because some people do that. Just want to make sure here. Thank you again, Marianne Rossi, for that insight. It seems other people agree with you. I just wanted to check to make sure here. And so it's just one of those things. We'll see what the fallout is from this book. Riley, as I say, looks wonderful. She's back to having like the black hair, which I think suits her. Hasn't aged at all. Everything looks to be original parts. You know what I'm saying? And I think the book will do very well. I think the book will do very well. Let's see here. Oh, yes. Todd Bradshaw is just outside Chattanooga, Tennessee. Sale Creek. No. Sale Creek. Between two mountains under the stars. Beautiful night. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Did anyone see that Pastor Bob has some Jewish blood? I believe he said that from the pulpit, a little bit of Jewish blood in him. And if we're children of the King, we have Jewish blood in us as well. If we've been born of God's Spirit. Neo, someone said you can see Northern Lights. Oh, yeah. Thanks for reminding me. Karen's been in and out the doors here so many times tonight, and she never gets to see them. It's the funniest thing, because right in the city where we live in, people are seeing them. But where we are here, it's not happening. So it wasn't long ago, just as I was getting ready to go on, I heard her opening up the door downstairs, and there was another check for the Northern Lights. And she's really into that kind of stuff. You know, she's really into that kind of stuff. The Cash App is something that you either have loaded or you don't. You'll find it in the app section of the Google store. You load Cash App and you link your checking account to it, and then you can send money to someone, and they can send money to you. If you draw a new customer to Cash App, you get an extra $5 for every one that you draw. So in other words, if someone sends you $20 on Cash App, and they've never used Cash App before, you will get 25. And same thing when they bring new customers into Cash App. I've never had a problem with it. I use it every month for one of my transactions that I must make, and never had a problem with it. With Cash App, I tend to get more of it. In fact, I tend to get all of it. Whereas, YouTube, when you hit the thanks button, they take a portion of it. That's just the way it works. I'm not complaining, because I'm very thankful to have the thanks button. My Cash App ID is Media Guy, all lowercase letters, MEDIAGUY, Media Guy 56, Media Guy 56 on Cash App. And we've had so many people hit Cash App. I could look right now and re-thank some people that have done that in the past. Jane Justice is definitely one of them recently. Oh, so many emails. Some from Susan Safiati. Am I saying that right, Susan? Did I get that extra syllable in there? Safiati. Took me long enough, right? And then there's Lucia. Lecia, I think. Lucia. And there was another one, but now I've got so many from Susan that it's hard to get to the next batch without erasing some emails. I'm so technically challenged here. But thank you for those that have hit the Cash App and the thanks button. And with that said, Susan Carter just hit the Cash App for $10. Thank you, Miss Carter. That was the other name, too, from the last batch. So she's a re-giver. And I thank you so much. I thank you so much. Never give if it's not in your budget. If you've been super blessed and you want to bless me, I would appreciate it very much because it helps me. It helps me deal with a small retirement that got smaller this year for reasons I won't go into here, but it did get smaller, and Social Security and what have you. But I want to be doing this as my main thing these days. I don't want to stand in front of Walmart and tell you where sporting goods is and check your receipt on the way out. I'd rather not do that, I worked for 50 years. I was a peace officer with the city of New York for 19 years. Did a whole lot of radio, often part-time. Uh-oh. When I hear that sound back there, I know that I'm guessing someone just hit the Cash App again. And there is a new person hitting it, which is just wonderful. That's just wonderful. Tammy Budge. Well, that's the first time I ever saw that name. Are you happy with that name? You wouldn't change it? You wouldn't budge? How many jokes have you heard like that, and better jokes than I just made, I'm sure. But thank you, Tammy. I appreciate that so much. Love your show, it says here. And I am blessed by that. Where are you from, Tammy? I'll go back to the regular feed here. But thank you, Tammy Budge, for $10, and Susan Carter, $10 on the Cash App. Media Guy 56, MEDIAGUY 56, all lowercase letters for Media Guy. And back we go to the live stream so I can see it. Jody Smith, $2 right there. Oh dear. Oh dear. Such a blessing. I think the book is Plausible Denial. I'd love to know more about that because you said that last time, Jody. Thank you for another $1, Jody Smith. Could you send me an email and expound on that? I'd love to hear exactly what you mean by that. Jack the Fair Guy at gmail.com. That's the email. Jack the FAIR guy, like you're at the carnival, Jack the Fair Guy at gmail.com. I'd love to hear you talk about that a little bit. Thank you so much, Tess J. Appreciate it. Get your kids and get out. Yeah, get out of America if things don't go right on November 5th. I would much rather go over to Barbara Streisand's house and help her, bring boxes over and help her move the light stuff. I can't lift heavy stuff anymore because I have cardiomyopathy. But, she said in 2016, she'd move out if Trump got elected. She didn't do it. Her and Jimmy Brolin there stayed right there in California. And this time she says if Trump gets elected, she's going to leave. So I think it would be only hospitable for us to go over there with some boxes and help them pack up and remind them that when they do leave, to make sure that the door doesn't swing back and hit her right in the arse. Just a thought, Tess. Oh, I love her music. Fine actress as well as a person. I don't see what James Brolin sees. He was so sweet to her too. What sealed the deal when he was dating her, and being with her. He said, "I hate that we have to go to sleep now because I'll miss you. I'll miss you," and that sealed the deal for Barbara Streisand. I'm a James Brolin fan. I watched him on Marcus Welby, and of course, he was the star of the Amityville Horror story, whatever it was. Intense actor. Saw him in a number of other things too. So, I hear that sound again in the background, and look at this here, Stephen Trump Caldwell. I only see part of your last name, but I remember you. $10 on the thanks button. please show the photos of MJ that I emailed you. Gee, I didn't. Did you just do it? I'll have to look. Maybe that's what I'm hearing. This is wild because I'm people that have never given before that I don't even know their name are giving. Oh, okay. I don't know. You might have to resend them. And then I got to send them to Google Photos. So it would be a few weeks down the road. Unless I feel really confident that they'll look okay on my phone, you know, I assume they're appropriate and what have you. Charlton Marley sent you $12. That's my first $12 gift from my wife, Heidi. That's Karen's daughter's name. Heidi Marley talks to you all the time. Well, thank you very much, Charlton, and thank you, Heidi. So it's a good night for a Cash App all of a sudden, and a good night for the thanks button. So I don't remember getting those photos, so you resend them. Make it easy for me to get the file, you know. Don't send me through too many hoops because I'll hurt my back. Yeah. Stephen, $10 on the Cash App. Stephen Trump Caldwell, and he wants me to show those MJ photos. Don't remember that. I don't remember getting them. It was last week I sent them from 3 of my emails. Michael Jackson photos. I'll look again. Let's see here. Anything I'm missing? Hey, it's an honorable job working at Walmart. They employ a lot of veterans and what have you. And I'm not putting it down. I'm just saying, as I am not that far from 69 years old, I really don't want to do it. I realize there are Walmart greeters well into their 70s. I understand that. I don't really want to go that way. I really don't. So there you go. What's the deal with Trump and Gene Ho? Well, Gene Ho was Trump's campaign photographer, you know, in the 2016 election, starting in 2015, of course, campaign photographer. He wrote a best-selling book on Trump, Gene Ho, that you can find on Amazon. And now he has a new book, America in a Flash, right? America in a Flash. There's a whole chapter on Pastor Bob Joyce. There's a whole chapter. So check that out. You can get that on Amazon or Barnes & Noble, and perhaps we'll have Gene Ho on for an interview. I'll contact him. We did talk about it, and he did send me a portion of the Bob Joyce chapter, and didn't want me to read it verbatim, but wanted my thoughts on it, which I could put on the air, and that's on one of our live shows. And I don't know if I put that in the heading or not, but I think it does say Gene Ho, America in a Flash. It's that one in the live shows. Just go to the live section of this channel, the Virtual Church of the Disillusioned, and you should be able to find it. So thank you, Stephen. I'll try to do that. I, again, probably would want to go Google Photos if I thought they were worthy. I can't ever promise. And tell me did you tell me what? See, I remember talking to you, but I don't remember you telling me your feelings about MJ. So I will definitely look into it. Give me a little time because it's going to be a busy weekend, but we'll probably pop on to pop off somewhere, you know. And then I'm looking at Sunday night, East Coast time, 8:30 p.m. to come on for like an hour and a half and talk to you. Do a worldwide rambling Sunday night, but Saturday we got back-to-back stuff, and I'm over 360 videos here now. I'm over 360 videos, so there's plenty of old stuff to see too. I hope you'll check some of that out. Peruse, and that would be very much appreciated. Always need those views, when you're a YouTube creator, you're looking for any video that you do to at least get 1,000 views, and of course you're hoping for many thousands of views. The Verdict, my most popular video, is going towards 204,000 right now, if it's not already. Plus, we're trying to hit the subscribe button. We're trying to get to 10,000 subscribers by Christmas Day. Hard to tell at this point. Hard to tell. I need to have faith. J.W. Miller joins us here at the tail end. Good evening, Jack. I hope things are going well for you and Karen. Yeah, she had her Botox injections this week. Hopefully that will start to relieve her pain. I had a problem today with Lowe's Home Improvement. Been waiting on a replacement dishwasher for a full week! Exclamation point. Yeah. I'm the dishwasher here. We don't have a mechanical dishwasher. We don't have one of those newfangled things, Now, do you have to rinse the plates first and all that before you put them into your dishwasher, JW? Yeah, we're old school here, sort of. I need to start making content for my YouTube channel. Yes, you do, Cindy. Get her done. Get her done. Nevada geologist is here. Hello, sir. I think it's a sir. Why do I assume it's a sir? Enjoying the northern lights here, huh? I'll definitely screw that up. You're in Idaho? Thought you were in Vegas. I'm all confused. Are you on the road? What's the temperature there in Idaho? And why are there so many jokes about the name of that state? Huh? Yeah, I know. I'm pretty sure you're a Vegas guy. There I go saying guy again. Maybe you don't identify as either. Who knows these days? I don't. Nancy DeMarco still with us. She's saying hello to Marty and Cindy and Bobby and Marcia and Greg and Peter and Bobby. I already said Bobby, didn't I? Yeah. I guess the Brady Bunch reboot is going to be canceled by the woke kids in Hollywood because Cindy Brady is a Trumper. Susan Olsen. We have a video. We play some of Cindy as a guest on some show. I don't think it was the Today Show, but they were very excited about doing the Brady Bunch, and then they told her that you can't be in it. You're a Trumper, and you're an outspoken Trumper. But would you be willing to take they didn't say a deprogram course. This is how it is now in this country. Would you be willing to, maybe then we'd consider it, because she obviously wants to do it. She was excited like everybody else that they do the Brady Bunch. I know you can't have young kids though. I mean, Greg Brady, Barry Williams, just turned 70 years old. Maureen McCormick, who I will forever have a crush on, is 68 years old. Same as me, but I'm about 5 months, 4 months, 5 months older than she is. She just turned 68 in August, I guess. And who's the best looking male Brady? It was always Chris Knight. So in my fantasy world, I always thought that Christopher Knight should marry Maureen McCormick. But, after the Brady Bunch, she had major problems with drugs and what have you, and it really hurt her career. Not that she would have really been in a movie with what's his name there, the Raiders of the Lost Ark guy. He just wanted her to come in for an interview because he had a crush on Marsha, like all the rest of us guys back then. But she came in totally unprepared, and she was never going to be in that movie. You wouldn't put somebody from the Brady Bunch in Raiders of the Lost Ark. Was that the movie, or was it the other classic movie? I don't know. I get confused about so many classic movies that I've never seen, because that's not my kind of movie, really. I can't say that it would be my cup of tea, but maybe if I saw the whole thing. No, Jack, I don't even go out into the kitchen Exclamation point. My power mobility chair. Oh, yeah. Okay. I remember that now. Won't fit in the kitchen, really. So you've got to have one of those homes that tunnel to towers builds that would be perfect for you, you know. Are you a veteran? It's one of those gallery style, thank you, that you would see on a boat. Well, if I could afford a boat, I'd see it, but I don't remember seeing it on a boat. I've been on a few boats, but they're usually cruise ships for the general public, you know, like you're going on a 2-hour cruise, but then you end up on this island. And this couple known as Lovey and Thurston Howell have enough fancy clothes to last a whole year. Oh, Neo, Maureen was rather attractive. Yeah, I think you could say that, Neo. Uh-huh. I grew up watching it. Yeah, everybody did, right? So I would love to see the reboot, and I would love to see Susan Olsen in it. She looks great, by the way. She still looks great. They were saying, if what Brady would you really want to be if you could change and be another Brady? And she said, well, I'd still be Cindy because I'd still be the youngest. And then Maureen gave her a high five on that one. Eve Plum was there. Yes, Eve Plum. Marsha. That whole deal. Was on an aircraft carrier, only kind of cruise I've been on. Yeah, I've never been on a Jimmy Stir Polka cruise, and it kills me. Gilligan's Island, you know it, Heidi. You know it. It was, as the skipper, Alan Hale, said, it was really a whole lot of nonsense, but people like a little nonsense from time to time. And, the first season, it was in black and white, and the ratings, at the very beginning weren't particularly great. And they thought, well, this is going to be one season and we're done. And it was getting into the season and they hadn't been renewed and they just forgot about the ratings thing. Let's just make the best of it and have fun for a season. And then, was that Sherwood Schwartz that did that show? Like the Brady Bunch? I can't remember who did the Brady Bunch at the moment. Who did Gilligan's Island, but was on the same set as MASH. MASH used it after they were done, after Gilligan's Island was finally canceled. I believe that's correct. And I took the tour at Universal and I saw it. We were on the tram and they said, oh, there's where MASH was filmed and also Gilligan's Island. I think that's right. Stephen Trump Caldwell. I was in love with Marcia. Me too. Yes. And all the Bradys hooked up with their age-appropriate cast members. They did. For a little while. There was some kind of mock wedding between Bobby and Cindy at one point. So I wasn't really finished with that story, was I? So anyway, yeah, the Gilligan's Island story. Eventually, what happened was that they said, well, it was near the last episode of the season, and they said, well, here comes the producers and what have you, and he's got a chart with him that's on legs, and it's hidden, and the whole cast was called together, and they're all sitting there saying, well, here comes the axe, and so the producer says, well, you know that the critics absolutely hate this show. It's no surprise, right? They absolutely hate Gilligan's Island. They write the worst reviews. That he paused and before he flipped the chart over, he said, but you know what? America loves you guys. America loves Gilligan's Island. And he flipped the chart and they were like the number 6 show in the top 10. And he announced at that point that they had been renewed for a second season. So surprise. Bob is 89, going on 90 this January. he would not necessarily agree with that. He'd say he's what, 72 now? I can't keep up. Just turned 72. Greg fried. He tried. He tried to date Florence, but she wouldn't have it. Actually, the way I hear it, Susan, she thought it was really sweet, and they went out to dinner. It was all very appropriate and stuff. But they went out to a restaurant for dinner. She tells the story, and believe me, Maureen McCormick tells the story in her book that Barry and the wonderful late Florence Henderson did go to dinner with Barry, but he was also had a major crush on Maureen, of course, and I think he was more successful with Maureen than he was with Florence Henderson. Semi. Yeah, the other Bob is 72. Bob Joyce is 89. Yeah, what we talk about here is the two Bob Joyce theory. I show different pictures. Go to the verdict, for example. Robert Wayne Joyce, who married Walina Hattie, who became Walina Joyce in 1975 in the state of Texas. It's clearly a different guy. Oh, I didn't have to go too far to find it. So that's Robert Wayne Joyce right there. I don't think he transformed into the current pastor of Household of Faith. I think that is the 1,000th time I've said that. And then we have a video called The Barrel Full of Bob Joyces. Watch that. Because, okay, there's Robert Wayne Joyce. There's the man who calls himself Bob Joyce, who pastors the church. But, Elvis had some lookalikes. And what if they came to Benton? What if they moved to Benton to near their perhaps old friend? I speak of possibilities. I could be wrong about the whole thing. And so now it's more than confusing because there's more than two. There's more than two that seem to show up here and there. But only one to camera, only one preaches the gospel there. Did Robert Wayne used to preach the gospel? Another story, don't know for sure. We do have a video up here that's gotten quite a few hits because certain people keep saying that Robert Wayne Joyce died in a car accident. I have no proof of that. If I were to guess whether